Welcome to the BVS Film Productions Final Cuts podcast series. The latest tips and trends in the online video production world.
Hi everybody, this is Dan from BVS Film Productions. This is Bob Miller from ODI. He's the VP of ODI Exhibits. And today we're going to talk about video production and how it equates to exhibit world and trade shows and what we've both seen, and you particularly, over the years, and find out a little bit about yourself and what you do. Bob and I, we've known each other for millions of years, so it's like...
And I'm not Denny.
He's not Denny. You're not Denny. Our normal Dan and Denny show. All right, so Bob, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you started in this business, and you go back as far as you want.
Boy, that's a long time ago, Dan. I don't know if I remember all that stuff.
Okay, all right.
But I've been doing this since 85. So what is it, 36, 37 years? I don't do math anymore.
Yeah.
But again, it was a family business.
Yeah.
We actually it was kind of neat. We did a special on TV5 last year because we realized that the family business started in the middle of the first pandemic.
Whoa.
And we made it to the second pandemic, and Channel 5 did a little snippet on us.
What was the first pandemic? What was that?
The flu.
The
German flu?
German flu or something like that. Yeah, oh, wow. That's right.
So from 1918, I think, is when that happened.
Holy crap. Wow.
So, yeah, we survived two of those. And again, family business. So right after graduating from Ball and Wallace, I did that along with on the sideline with you for a while, my friend, doing wedding bands and stuff most of the time at the same time. But
which will be another podcast, by the way.
Yes,
okay.
And but that first one I mentioned with How This Place is the one that paid the bills. So, but yeah, so again, I did a little bit of everything there. Wore a bunch of different hats there, from production to sales, from marketing to product management. Really isn't too much I didn't get involved with at the time, being a small company. So my personal background is really a little bit of everything with the company, from sales, product management, production, a little bit of everything. And it really, I think it was important because it really gave me an insight to the different things different people go through.
Yeah.
And we had done our own trade shows at times. So I was out on the floor selling so I kind of know what our clients go through as well that way too.
And I remember you guys used to have a product called Quick Sticks. Remember that?
It was a fabric panel system that was connected with Velcro rods. In fact, we did our brochure at your place.
It was pretty cool.
And in fact, we took that to a couple of shows, and those were a couple of shows that we had worked with, even taking it to the big industry show, the exhibitor show, a couple of years and going. So again, I had a better even idea after doing those of what our clients go through and what I got to watch for and what we can do to avoid Murphy's Law invading into our clients' shows and events.
Yeah. And so just talk about the second pandemic. I mean, how did that affect you guys?
It affected us a lot. As you can imagine, come March 2020, trade shows ceased to happen. We were fortunate enough to have some other type projects. We did some stuff for a client. We did multiple cabinets. We built 350 cabinets for a client. I personally did a project for Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for them. So we did just enough, and with some of the loans that were and grants that were available, to keep the door open and to keep most of us going. Yeah. And thank God that the last year and a half, it's really bounced back very, very strongly.
Yeah, cool. You know what? I found a lot of people were looking at these virtual trade shows, and I don't know if they really got off the ground the way they were supposed to, but
I don't think they've come up with the best way to do them yet. I think that maybe is what's going on. I had several clients that participated.
Yeah, we worked on one with you guys. Remember that one?
And most of the time what ended up happening is they said they were paying virtually the same price they were paying for the space on the show floor, but we're literally getting nothing more than a glorified directory listing on that association's website.
Right.
So they really weren't developing any business. I remember even sitting in a webinar, and all these people were shooting comments on the site about, "Oh, I tried it and it was terrible. I didn't get any business. I'll never do it again." And it was interesting to see how there wasn't one positive comment.
Really?
And I don't have a client that had a positive experience doing them either.
Well, I think the whole part of it too, it wasn't a touchy-feely, you're bringing your exhibit out. Everybody was used to that, at that point.
But again, I think it probably could have gone better, and maybe that's something you guys can develop. I don't think they've really come up with a system yet.
Right.
We even experimented with setting up a couple clients' booths and having them walk through their booth not even virtually, physically walking through their booth and having it videotaped.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
You did that. In fact, you came over and helped with the project.
I can't remember what the client was, but it was a big client. And I remember and I thought it was a pretty interesting thing where they would go through and they talked about their product, and then we simulcasted it from some kind of a show, and they were actually doing the video from your location through our gear, and it seemed to be fairly successful for that point.
That seemed to be and we did have some positive comments from that.
Yeah.
But that was literally physically setting up a trade show exhibit
You
and
literally
having
had to
walk through the booth.
Yeah, right.
So basically what they were doing is demonstrating and displaying what they would typically have in their trade show booth via, online, just a recording of it. And that seemed to do better.
Right.
Where they seem to fall short is when it's basically just with what a lot of these people call virtual trade shows. Well, there really isn't anything really much more than a listing.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you don't even feel like you're walking into anything. Trade shows are an environment.
Right.
That was the whole point of shows. It's touching, meeting people, starting relationships with people that you can't do the same way, I'll say, over the phone or over a computer screen.
Yeah, exactly right.
But they all work together. There's no one right way to do it. It's getting all these things to work together, including video as part of the shows. I would say 9 out of 10 booths we sell anymore, exhibits we sell, have monitors in the booth. So it's rare anymore that we don't see a monitor in a trade show booth, even as small as 10 by 10.
Right. And going back to the pandemic really quick, there was another one that we did together for Stanley Black & Decker. And that was really weird and interesting. And it worked. I think it worked well for them, where we actually, they came to one time they came to your location, then it once was ours. We set up the cameras, and then because they couldn't go live to their event and show their new product line, we ended up doing a video for that, and they were able to do that for a couple of years, which worked out pretty good.
And you reminded me too, Dan, we also set up a big section of our one building with black drape 16 feet up. Oh, it has to be 50 by 80 or bigger than that. Mm-hmm. And we had certain clients come in and actually do Facebook recordings and Instagram Live and Facebook Live recordings. Like you said, the videos we shot with our client, they were training videos. Right. Because during COVID, they weren't allowed to go out and meet these people in person and train these people. Yeah. So they made the videos with you and I and sent them out, and they substituted for that.
Remember we had a little scare with the COVID thing with one of the guys.
Yeah, one of the guys that showed up, and we found out after that he had COVID, but knock on wood.
None of us got it.
No, I don't know of anyone that got sick after that. But
at that particular
But that was the other part of what we did to keep our doors open. We had a couple clients take advantage of that room, I'll call it, the back corner of one of our buildings.
Yeah, right.
So, and then slowly but surely, some of the stuff started coming back to where this last year and a quarter, year and a half have been incredible. I mean, better than I would have even imagined or guessed. So.
That's super, man. Really. And that's, it was just going to be the bounce back. It's the boomerang, it was gone and now it's back big time.
Yeah. I think you got a lot of hungry people wanting to get the shows. And again, there's things you can and can't do unless you're doing them in person.
Right.
And even training. Think too, all the classes people go to shows for. It isn't just the trade show floor. There's seminars, there's classrooms, there's workshops. There's other things that happen at these shows besides that, and the social events, whether it's a golf outing, gala, on the last night of the show or something. They give you the chance to meet people, and even out of the booth setting. I remember real quickly when we were at a show at the IX Center. We had a booth, as I told you, we worked the booth. Afterward, they had a live band and they had a cocktail hour.
Yeah.
We met and talked and got more business out of walking around talking to people during that cocktail hour than we did on the floor. Again, and that's what happens in bigger shows as well.
Right.
It's all reinforcing relationships.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what a trade shows can do.
And we find that out with the GIE Expo. Every year we go to that, which I think has changed the name now. But they would use us for all those different things that you just talked about. They would record that with video, and then they'd make their promos out of it and sell it for the year afterwards. So, so every weird aspect of that, there's little pieces of video that can work and to make that go. Mm-hmm. So cool, very cool. Okay, so what do you see for the future of Ohio Displays and?
Well, again, I think we're on the right track.
ODI.
We're again, everything's been going great. We're investigating in new technologies and different ways to make ourselves more efficient, better. We've even cleaned up. We don't get a ton of traffic in our location, but we've even spent some time cleaning up and adding and making things look more exciting. And so if you do come visit us, there's more to see. Incredible conference room. We just added some new outside walls that have some cool interactive stuff when you walk by. So it's
Nice.
That's probably what's changing. I think the show situation, the schedules, will continue as long as things don't go the other way. Again, I think there was, like you said, you hit the nail on the head, Dan. There was a big desire, rush, urge to just get out again and talk to people. And again, think of all the associations that affected. That,
Oh my
that
God,
make
yeah.
60 to 90% of their income from these shows.
Right.
So when these shows stopped and when their virtual trade show didn't do as well as they hoped, a lot of these associations were hurting.
Yeah.
So they're real happy to see things bouncing back too. So
Right. Oh, there was another. Didn't we do an animation video for you for
yes,
That was something
right
else that-
during, of course, another COVID casualty.
another COVID thing? Yeah.
We were going to take a she shed, a 2-story exhibit to exhibitor show.
Yeah.
Of course, in 2020.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we had it.
Did it
built.
ever happen?
No, the show.
Oh, my
I believe the show was
God.
postponed
Oh,
for the
really?
following year.
Oh no.
But we're basically, it was a 2-story house,
Yeah, I
cottage
remember that.
appearance. Behind it was, you probably know, 30 by 50.
Yeah, it was big.
Literally a huge projection screen behind it. And you guys designed the video that was projected on the wall. It was a combination of animation, funny stuff, fun stuff, great attention grabbing stuff that we were looking forward to using. We never had a chance to do.
Oh, geez. But that's the thing, though. Getting back to video and trade shows, I think they seem to be essential for what's going on. Just as a reinforcement in many cases, when a salesman's off, somebody's walking past the booth, they have their
Motion
there's a
sells.
virtual.
Motion gets interest.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is what you can do on a video that in a monitor you can't do on the show floor is you can show your product and application. You can show it in the warehouse. You can show it out digging a hole in the ground.
Right.
You can put the prospective client there, get a feel for really what your product can do and look like in the field.
Yeah.
Because again, what you're usually bringing at the show, we work with clients that are bringing huge earth movers and machinery and vehicles.
Yeah.
But we also work with clients that have big equipment that don't bring it to the shows.
Yeah, it saves so much money if you
Right, but
show
again,
it.
they get the point across using things like you do with video. And again, even helping to tell stories, tying things together, whether it's part of a slideshow, whether it's quick slides of almost kind of what we do on walls with bullet points and things, of really just giving a really good overall view or a picture of what this company, our client can do.
Good,
So it's
good.
been, that's what I mentioned earlier, it's been a real hand-in-hand partnership with video and what we do.
Good.
And again, we've got 4 videos playing in our lobby right now.
That's right.
And it's the video you guys did.
Oh, so you got to use it somewhere. Well, good. Well, we're going to take a break from our sponsors right now, and we'll be back in a minute.
Ohio Displays is the leading trade show display company in Northeast Ohio. We help build, design, and manage trade show exhibits for our clients in any phase or aspect of their trade show program.
BVS Film Productions develops company videos for some of the largest corporations in the world. From healthcare to industrial, we've got you covered. So contact us at 440-653-9911 or info@bvsfilmproductions.com to see how we can help your company with all of its video content marketing needs.
All right, great. Well, I think we got a lot of good information today from Bob, and I appreciate you coming out today and talking to us.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
And we'll be doing more of these.
Sounds
I'm
good.
sure.
And I promise not to wear my Denny mask next time, too.
Yes, that's right. I appreciate it. We can never tell sometimes, right? All right, great.
Thanks.
Visit bvsfilmproductions.com or email info@bvsfilmproductions.com to find out more.
Let's face it, everybody loves to make podcasts and vodcasts, but nobody wants to edit them. Well, except for us. At Premier Podcast Productions, we professionally edit and distribute podcasts and vodcasts for companies around the world. Our process is simple and affordable, allowing you to stay focused on what you do best, developing great content and building your subscriber base. From recording and editing to final distribution and marketing, we can help every step of the way to make your podcast stand out and get the results it deserves. Contact us today at premierpodcastpros.com to take your podcast to the next level.